Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and the Peace Summit or Peace Conference in Switzerland, organized by Ukraine, so-called the Peace Summit, to bring peace to Ukraine, it's over, over the past few days, and it is really a bit hard to call it a success. I mean, it is a success to the fact that there is still pretty a huge, a third of the world actually attended. So you can see in this background image, there's like a lot of people. I think 90 countries. So it is still success as an event. It's like you host a wedding and all your guests or most of the guests came. At least those that say that they will come came. Your wedding would be a success. But if we look at real terms, it start to look less good. And according to I didn't really manage to be able to find easy sources on all the speeches that was made, and anyway there's a lot. It feels a lot more like a pissed summit. People are just pissed. A lot of countries are pissed. They made a lot of complaints, and everyone is just complaining different things. A bit like United Nations. So it's not organized, or maybe it didn't really go the way how Ukraine think that it's going to be. They have actually 10 points for their peace formula, and on the macros view of it, the general view of it, it looks very sensible. However, at the end, we only have 3 out of the 10 points was agreed upon, and it was made into this this document, or this declaration that the countries signed onto. So the 3 of this communique that was signed, the first point, so I wonder you can see this. Oh, why is this dancing upstairs? So the first of this point is Ukraine nuclear installation, including the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, must be safely operated under Ukraine's sovereign control and IAEA supervision. Nuclear threats and use is inadmissible. Then this is the second point. Global food security requires uninterrupted food production and supply, with critical emphasis on free, full, safe commercial navigation to and from Black and Azov Sea ports. Attack on civilian maritime infrastructure are unacceptable. And clearly this is a very easy point to sign to. I'm very 100% sure no countries will be against something like this. This is clearly, is a fair point. But then we have all prisoners of war deported or unlawfully displaced Ukrainian civilians, including children, must be completely exchanged and returned to Ukraine. So this is a little bit more difficult, a bit more challenging, because deported or unlawful displaced Ukrainian civilians, let's say into Russia, what if they take up Russian citizenship? Is it still must be completely exchanged and returned to Ukraine? Clearly, prisoners of war, clearly they would not be exchanged in the middle of the war unless there is a 1-to-1 exchange, or at least some agreement between 2-to-1, 1-to-1 POW exchange between both sides. But POWs will generally be released at the end of the war, so it is easy to agree point as well. So coming back to the first one, so this is the only point of the 3 that was inside the communique that you can actually say that Ukraine get somewhat of what they want. So because Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is at Enerhoda is actually captured by the Russian forces. It's in the southern bank of the Dnipro River, opposite of Nikopol, which is a major city. So Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant generally is conquered grounds, and so for a huge number of these countries, a mass majority of the country that attended this peace summit has signed to agree on this, does at least let Ukraine have some little bit of win, in the sense that they managed to at least get the mass majority of these countries agree that certain conquered grounds by Russia should be returned to Ukrainian control. So at least is there some territorial integrity, being kind of emphasized. So which is why they are talking about this. But that's about it. This is the 3 points. It's actually very weak. The communique itself is already very weak. And the full 10 points was a lot longer. In general issues, radiological and nuclear safety, did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is probably in relation to this nuclear power plant issue. Although it's a bit weird that they added this, any nuclear threats or use is inadmissible into this point of the communique, because it should be a totally different point altogether, because any nuclear threats or use is inadmissible should be a point on its own, because it is to prevent nuclear war from happening. So it should have its own point. However, it can't be on its own point because it wasn't part of the 10. And I'm quite sure certain countries are very concerned about this, outbreak of nuclear war. So maybe this was added to just appease certain country. And but food security, of course, is the one that is talking about global food security. So they talk about no hitting of civilian ports, allowing trade ships to continue to move freely. So okay. Energy security, somehow no idea why this is not agreed upon. And so release of all prisoners of war and deportee, this one, so this is agreed upon. So now we come to the other parts, the other major ones that is not agreed. Somehow they cannot agree that Ukraine should restore its territorial integrity. How is this peace summit that is supposedly Ukrainian run cannot even have this point in, or at least partial? They can't even agree upon some kind of a partial territorial integrity return being restored. To withdraw Russian troops and cessation of hostilities, how can this not be something that is part of this communique? This weird. Justice and accountability clearly is very biased. Just by the term alone, is like they're trying to incriminate Russia. Can I be brighter? I can't. Yeah, a little bit brighter. So justice and accountability is clearly they're trying to bring out Bucha. They're trying to put blames on Russia, the claims of genocide and everything, trying to get Russia's money, trying to get Russia to pay for the reconstruction. Clearly this is all the thing that many of these countries, probably even neutral, will not be able to agree upon, because it will never get passed. Russia will never agree to it unless Russia lost the war. So in preventing of ecocide, somehow this also did not get. Maybe people don't think that this is actually have anything to do with the Ukraine peace, because this is probably pointing to the destruction of the Novakhovka Dam. So yeah, nobody cares about Ukrainian ecology. Preventing the escalation of the conflict clearly cannot be agreed upon, because a mass majority of these countries wanted to escalate the conflict. They wanted to give Ukraine more weapons and more ammunition to allow the war to continue. So this is not possible, at least not now. And confirmation of the war's end. So clearly this peace point will not happen because Russia is not invited. So maybe this peace formula is a long-term plan, and they are only managed to agree with a few of this. So maybe that's the plan, but it does makes it really pointless. If what's the point? And my own feeling is that the entire peace conference is not geared towards solving a problem. It's more towards getting towards getting the attention and the spotlight back on Ukraine from Israel and Palestine. That feels like what it is, because most of the world is very hyper focused on Israel and Palestine, and Ukraine is very on the back foot. It's really thrown to the back of the brain. They needed something to bring the spotlight back, and having 1/3 of the world there here, no, and all of the Western and Western aligned countries to be there, yeah, it's a huge attention, getting thing. Every single country reported about this. At least most of the country that attended, they have at least their local local media talking about their own leaders' actions or speech at this summit, which is a great PR coup. Because Ukraine really needed it, because they are not getting the battlefield wins. So attention is drawing towards Israel, because Israel is still conducting their offensive against Hamas, which until half a year later, Hamas clearly still is still combat capable. Until now, most of the hostage is still not taken back. So Ukraine needed this attention. However, this peace summit, without inviting Russia, clearly is they're afraid of what Russia is going to say. So without Russia around, this peace summit has no substance, and that's the main problem with this. And as a result, the BRICS countries, clearly the countries that are in BRICS have close relationship with Russia, have declined to even sign these 3 points. So because these 3 points have a big problem, because it have to say that Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant should return to Ukraine control, and it is under Russian controlled territory. So clearly, any countries that is very friendly to Russia is not going to agree to this point. The other 2 points, clearly this is these easy points to agree on. So Brazil have not wanted to sign this declaration, and so the point that the president Luis Inácio Lula say that he informed the president of the Swiss Confederation that he will not attend the international meeting, and say that Brazil will only participate in the peace discussion when both sides of the conflict, Ukraine and Russia, are on the negotiating table. You can't resolve a conflict by meeting with just one side, and this is actually rather obvious. I think every neutral like me, is very obvious when this is first announced. Like, Russia is not there, then what the hell is happening? And India also says the same thing. India refused to sign. India did attend. I think they have a minister there or something. So, but they refused to sign as well, because these points, to know that the whole world will agree upon, that can be implemented, clearly have to be implemented on both sides, Russia and Ukraine. And clearly these points are all pro-Ukraine in design, by design. So Russia is not there. There is no way to switch the language. So India say that no, they decided to avoid association of the joint communique and any documents adopted due to this summit. They don't want to be associated to such a thing. They say that practical interaction between the two conflicts are required to ensure future peace. So India will just cooperate. So this is a huge problem, and not just that. Initially, I think there's 80 countries that signed it. 2 countries later withdrew their signatures, probably after realizing what it meant, or maybe the envoys and the ministers that were sent there, finally when they reached back to their own country, their foreign ministry or their president or whatever suddenly asked them, what the hell why did you sign it? And then they withdrew their signature. Because like I mentioned, there's the first point of it, relating to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, demands Russia to give up the land that they have conquered. And I think that is probably one big problem, and is something that is pretty anti-Russia. No, anti-Russia not as in like you're pro-Ukraine, but no, as in it's not in Russia's favor, and Russia would not be happy with it. And Iraq and Jordan has withdrawn their signature. I'm not sure why Jordan would have withdrawn it. They never mentioned why exactly. So, and Iraq, clearly, no, they are not exactly pro-West nowadays. Jordan is pro-West, but somehow they withdrew. So there's a lot of weird things is going around here. So from 80, they dropped to 78. there's also other countries that were there but did not sign. Clearly the BRICS country are not signing it. Saudi Arabia is one of them. And India didn't sign. Thailand also did not sign. Thailand is interesting because Thailand isn't exactly aligned to any country nowadays. The feeling that I get, they are like not here, not there. And Mexico did not sign because Mexico, I also not sure why. No, Mexico is not exactly West nowadays. Like they are not that friendly with United States. Like they are doing their own thing. South Africa is BRICS country, Brazil is BRICS country, UAE is BRICS country. So the BRICS country do not want to sign this. Like I mentioned, the main problem with the communique was that you have to give up ground. The Russia have to give up ground. And then after that, another country withdrew. Rwanda has actually withdrawn their signature. So the fact that this withdrawal, is so is the updates, the withdrawal is so late. I suspect that it's the envoy or the minister that went back to the country. They discussed about it, and they decided that it's not in Rwanda's national interest to do it. Like it's similar to Jordan, similar to Iraq. They just don't want to get involved. So, and interesting is that there is European Council and European Parliament somehow, and European Commission. Somehow these three things is like separate, like as if they're three different countries. So I don't know. So yeah, they just want to make up the numbers. So maybe it's not even 80. My own country signed it, and it's just the same old story about it's about principle, not about taking sides. And yeah, although I just earlier today, a few hours ago, realized that Singapore is earning a lot of money building making ammunition for NATO. I'm not sure if this ammunition will be going to Ukraine. 155 artillery shells, Singapore produced it. So good. Money is money. Hard to deny that. And the other countries that don't go, like China, just don't comment on it. Like many countries that was asked by reporters to comment about the summit, or I think most of them chose not to talk about it. China did not attend, so they do not want to comment. So this entire summit is rather sad. I don't know. It just feels like very desperate. Like Ukraine is really trying whatever they could to try to gain legitimacy, to try to gain a spotlight. And I don't think it's going to bring much. I don't think it's going to do much. It's like many of this Ukrainian propaganda or PR stuff that they have been doing, going interview with magazines, and like ultimately all this, you can't win the war with all this PR. And then clearly, practically speaking, you also cannot win the war. So it is rather difficult thing to digest. Anyway, this is just some just comment about this peace deal, since I already did also the Russian one, where the Putin put out the conditions for a peace settlement with Ukraine, and according to some other articles that I read while I'm preparing for this video, they did not discuss about the Russian deal at all. So I think Russia quickly put out the terms right when the summit was about to begin, to try to get them to talk about Russia's terms. But Russia did not really. No, I think at this summit no one talks about it really, and everybody was just ranting their own stuff. So it is what it is. So anyway, thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. It is a very weird thing because it's so many countries is involved. The articles, the information coming out from this summit is very confusing, because it's all over the place. Everybody have their own thing to say. The medias all report on their own leaders' things, and in the end, the common communique was so poorly done. Like Can't they just have a deal? Just agree that no, the war must end. I think everybody will sign it. So yeah. Anyway, whatever it is, I'll see you guys in the next update.